In the last video, we got my Built motor back into the STI. I know it's been a little while since the last video, but I've been hard at work over these past couple weeks getting everything I needed to get this thing back on the road. And let me tell you, no one is more excited than I am. Over the past few weeks, I've been working hard trying to get everything buttoned up and ready to go for first start. This includes our downpipe, our fuel hanger, as well as our fuel pumps and the fueling system. This was pretty cool. The Radium kit is super nice and everything just works together, and the instructions are super clean and clear. So if you need anything fueling, I highly recommend Radium. After that, it was time to get all of our accessories on. It's our power steering and our AC, as well as some evap stuff and our boost control solenoid. I then moved into the external wastegate and the dump tube. This is super deep in there, you're not gonna be able to see it. And then I went to our radiator. Now I bought the CSF dual row radiator with the front mount. You definitely need to upgrade a radiator because the front mount does block a little bit of airflow to that radiator, so having a nicer radiator definitely helps. Now, that leaves us with just a couple of big things left, one of which being the intercooler. Okay, since we were retaining the Cobb intake box, the carbon fiber redline one, I did have to go through and get some custom fab done on our intercooler piping. So I took the chance to get them powder coated, and I chose, this is called brushed aluminum from Prismatic Powders, and I kind of wanted that raw metal look in the engine bay. I'm not a huge fan of wrinkle black and that much. It's just too much for me. We have the manifold that's wrinkle red, and then we have everything else is kind of black. So I thought I would spice it up a little bit and go with something a little bit brighter for the intercooler piping. And it turned out awesome. I'm super happy with the way this turned out. So I'm not gonna be using every single pipe in this kit because we do have some custom fab pieces, but I'm gonna go through and try to figure out where all this spaghetti goes. Check this out, guys. It's finally almost there. All of the mechanical work is done on this thing. I'm super happy with the way that the engine bay turned out. I was a little nervous about the silver piping. I thought it was gonna look kind of ricey, but I think it looks good. I think it looks better than the wrinkled black, especially because everything else in the engine bay is either black or carbon. So I think this looks awesome. So as you guys saw, I got the intercooler mounted up. We got all of our intake piping in. We got our HKS blow-off valve in and wired up, as well as we got our Cobb intake and our cold side inner piping, or hot side inner piping. I think it's super hard to make a Subaru engine bay look clean, especially when you have a lot of the factory equipment like the manifold and stuff like that. There's just so many hoses and lines and stuff like that, but I think this setup looks pretty good. It looks complete, and I think sometimes, especially with the front mount intercooler kit, the engine bays don't look complete because there's just like big gaps in the intake. So I'm super happy with this custom piping setup that we can use the Cobb redline intake because it looks so good. Now we have all of the mechanical side of things done, but there's one more thing that we need to do, and it's not gonna happen here. And that is all of our wiring. We have to wire our IAT sensor, our ethanol sensor, and our fuel pump relay. And I know that in the grand scheme of things, those are pretty simple, but I suck at wiring. And so I just want to leave it to the professionals on this one because I don't want to be chasing down electrical gremlins for the duration of this car because that sucks. So let's get this thing on a tow truck. First time the car has moved in like 5 months. It's on a tow truck. That's okay, at least it's moving. So we got almost everything wired up. We're working on getting our ethanol input. We got the fuel relay wired up. We just need to get the fuse in and then power and ground for the ethanol sensor. And we should be ready for a first start. Fluid's already in. Probably gonna have to fill up that upper coolant reservoir because the thermostat's gonna open. But I think the next clip is gonna be the first start.
Okay, I'm gonna start it.
Okay. Fuel pressure? You want me to set fuel pressure?
No, we already set it before we started.
It's supposed to read lower now though, right?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. So it's running pretty healthy so far. We're not going to be able to tune today, but at least we got the first start and I'm super happy with it because I was super stressed out. I've never assembled a long block, so the fact that it runs clean, it runs healthy, and it sounds great, I'm happy. Let's go. We got the base map loaded up and we're burping the coolant system. Like I said, we're not gonna be able to tune today, but in the next video, we'll be tuning. The wiring took us a little bit longer than expected, but it's all done up. So we have our hybrid speed density, we have our ethanol sensor, which you can't see, it's down there. And then in here, we wired it into the glove box. I'm not a huge fan of seeing gauges in my cars, so we put them in the glove box. So it'll be nice and tucked away in here. But other than that, she's ready to rip. And I am so stoked to get this thing running. He was giving it a little bit of revs to get the coolant system to warm up and to get it burped. And I heard a little faint blow off from the HKS valve and it sounds super sweet. So I'm excited for you guys to hear it when it's under full load. It's gonna be loud. Might have to change the exhaust because that single exit Noble is gonna be loud in this setup, but cross that bridge when we get there. But yeah, I'm so stoked. It's crazy too because this is my first time building a long block. So I was definitely really nervous for the first start. You know, there's so much that went into it. There's so much that I pulled out. There's so much that I put together. So the fact that it starts up and it runs healthy is a win in my book. Honestly, at this point, how much power it makes is just how much power it makes. I'm just happy that the car is back up and running and we are close to being able to drive it soon. So stay tuned for that. I appreciate you guys watching this video. I hope you guys are looking forward to seeing this car on the dyno. With that, I'm gonna cut it off here. I'll see you in the next one.